afternoon, St. Lucie County 5th graders. This is Mrs. LaShawn Ashton here with you today, and I have a new story for you today. And the last couple ones we have done have been informational text, and we are going to look at a literature text. So I'm all excited to change with that. So what we always do, again, when we look at a new text is we analyze 1-1, so who, what, where, why, when, and how. We look at 2-4, which is your academic and domain vocabulary, so words that you need to know to understand the meaning of the text and what to do if you don't understand a word. And we've talked about that over the last few weeks. You read the sentence before, you read it after, and you can replace that word with other words you know to see if it makes sense. And we're going to look at a new standard, not new to you, but new to our time together. And that is RL 1.2, which is about theme. If you know theme, raise your hand. All right, so I'm going to read the standard to give you guys a quick review of what theme is. RL 1.2, determine a theme of a story, drama, or poem from details in the text, including how a character in a story or drama respond to challenges or how the speaker in a poem reflects upon a topic. Summarize the text. So since this is a story and it's not a poem, we're going to see how the character or characters respond to the challenges that face them. And this is one of my favorite ones to teach. And then summarize the text. So we've talked about summarizing the text before, and I know that sometimes I'm highlighter happy, and sometimes a lot of my students are highlighter happy, which means when you tell them to underline or highlight the important details in a text to summarize it, the whole thing is yellow or pink or blue, whatever color highlighter it is. And sometimes I'm guilty of that too, because as you're reading, you're like, oh, that's important, that's important, that's important. So it's really only picking out the key details to summarize what's going on in the text. So, theme. Every story has a theme or message that runs through it. The main character's action and responses to challenges can help you determine a story's theme. As you read the Birch Bark House, use a graphic organizer to record details about the main character and ask yourself what theme the text evidence suggests. So I drew this up for you guys. So when we talk about theme, we're talking about the character's qualities, the character's motives, and the character's actions. So the qualities, what kind of qualities? Is the character helpful? Is the character shy, selfish, happy, sad? What are the qualities? Trustworthy, sneaky, whatever they might be. And then character's motives. What is the character trying to do? What's motivating the character to do it? Are they trying to get away with something? Are they trying to help somebody? So what are their motives? What is motivating them to do something? And then character's actions. What is the character actually doing? What are the physical actions that the character is taking? And then what did the character or characters learn? So as you are reading any story, every story has a theme. So that's something to think about. What are the characters' qualities? What are they like? Describe them. You could use a bubble map and you put in the character. So in the bubble map, you put in the character and then you describe them in the bubbles like this. So you would have the character's name, I just wrote character, and then you would have bubbles that go around and you're describing the character. So that would be the qualities, describing qualities. What are the motives and what are the actions? So with any journeys text, they're usually a little bit long. So I'm only going to read the first 2 pages to you because that's all I need to read to get to what we need to talk about today. And then if you don't have Canvas, you can read any story. So if you still have access to online, you can go to Google any type of literature story and read that and look at who is the character, what are their qualities, what are their motives, what are their actions, and did they learn anything? So it just doesn't have to do with this text. And if you don't have access to Canvas or access to this text, then you can do what I said and just tell a parent or your teacher or a sibling or a friend what you learned. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to read the first 2 pages and then we're going to discuss them. Okay, The birch bark house. So I'll show you the picture. Amakas is returning home from an errand. She carries scissors for her mother and a lump of sweet maple candy for herself. Both the scissors and the candy are rare and valued items in her Ojibwe village in 1847. She is not eager to return home to the chore of tanning a moose hide and to her older sister Angeline, who made fun of her earlier in the day. Her feelings are hurt and she wants nothing but to be respected by Angeline. Before she went back on the trail, Omakas rinsed off the old candy lump in the lake. It came out beautifully, creamy golden, translucent, and grainy dark, and sweet. She started walking, her treasure now wrapped in a leaf. And as she walked, Omakas thought, there was no way to share a tough nut of sweetness. How would she divide it? Omakas decided she did not want to cause trouble at home. Furthermore, it suddenly made sense to her that at least one person in the family should get the full effect of the maple sugar. She would pop the whole thing in her mouth, all at once. This would save problems. The lump was delicious, tasting of spring sweetness and the inside of trees. Besides, Omakas reasoned as she walked contentedly along, the taste of the sugar would save her from eating every one of the berries she was sure she would find on the path. Omaka's feet moved slower and even slower yet. For one thing, the moose hide waited. For another, she was still angry with her older sister and she wanted to see Angeline. She didn't want to see Angeline. She could still feel that sister foot pressing hateful on her back. If only there were some way to impress Angeline, because her envy make her say, "Can I have some of those berries? Please, please, please." You can be sure Omakas thought, her face taking on a faraway, haughty expression. She would be slow in answering. Yet the worst of it was this: her sister was usually on her side, helping her plan tricks on the other children in the village, or gathering new ferns, or snaring rabbits, visiting the grave houses, looking for sugar or food left for the spirits, tossing off her clothes to swim with her. And to have her older sister laugh at her Omakas so much inside that she both wanted Angeline to smile in surprise, to be proud, to envy her, and to feel rotten and be sorry forever. So Omakas took the slow way back, looking for O'Damon, little red heartberries, in the sunny margins of the woods near the ground. She carefully removed the hard lump of sweetness from her mouth, stuck it back in its leaf just inside the pocket of her dress. Just as the taste of maple sugar faded along her tongue, she bent over, pushed back delicate leaves, and found masses of plump red little berries. 1, 2, 3. She'd eaten a huge handful. Another, she grinned, thinking that she'd allow her sister to return with her to plunder them, but only if Angeline changed her ways. So, when we look at this, let's talk about the character's qualities, her motives, and her actions. So, what were her qualities? Good. So she loved to play. She loved to be with her sister. She was generous, and just an overall kind-hearted person. What were her motives? So what happened? Yes, Angeline, her sister, made her feel bad. She was upset. So she was going to take her time to get back, and she was going to eat that candy and not share it. And her actions, again, she was walking slowly to get back to avoid her chores, and she was going to eat all that candy and those berries herself because she was angry with her sister. So if you have this text and you continue to read, you'll see what keeps going on. You can keep adding to your list and see what she learns along the way in the story. And you'll also see that she encounters some bears. So what do you think might happen with that? Well, we will talk about that next week. And you guys have a great rest of the day and weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye.